Well, as always said, Mondays are usually the most boring days starting the week. However, I attempt to keep your Mondays fun and exciting. However, if you guys are big fans of the Yoshi wrestling scene, you're always in the right channel. So today we're going to do that. Now, as you may have heard of this promotion or not, called Just Tap Out or GTO, many of you may know is a co-ed type of promotion where they have both the men's and women's. But however, the Yoshi girls take the center stage in their own show with the GTO Girls Tournament. So it's a one-day tournament, and the bracket's a little different than I expected. But even though I may not know these girls, but it was a very interesting event. And then, of course, we have the recent event by Stardom in Fuji. Uh, Basically, we had some interesting matches, but also we did have a preliminary match that involves the white belt that we'll get to in a bit as well. And then, as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates, give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. In the world, pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. School is now in session, so let's begin with GTO. Alright, GTO or Just Tap Out. Now, before I proceed anything else, if you guys are not familiarized with this promotion actually started with Taka Michinoku. Now, if you guys remember him, Taka Michinoku was that one Japanese wrestler who was part of the faction known as Kantai, where they did the whole lip thingy going on, where they're like talking like all about evil, along with Funaki. So yes, that is the same Taka Michinoku. Now, of course, Taka Michinoku, for many who may not know, he had his own wrestling school slash promotion called Kantai, ironically, which was, of course, the name of his faction that he was in back in WWE, if you guys remember that. But yes, that's what it was. Now, he, of course, run that promotion. He had many wrestlers during that time, such as Mirai, who many of you saw in Tokyo Super Wrestling. Then, of course, she went to Tokyo Pro Wrestling, and then Stardom, and then Mighty Gold, and now she went back to Michinoku. So that sort of thing. And of course, they had other wrestlers there too, such as Tomokai Naba. However, the only reason that you ask yourselves, why did he went to just tap out? Well, the problem was he was involved in a scandal with a woman. I don't know exactly the full extent, but that's all the basic things I've been aware of. However, he was forced out of Kai Tai and losing his position. But however, Kai Tai was later renamed into Active Advanced Pro Wrestling, or 2AW. That's what they called themselves. But of course, Taka Michinoku decided to restart a new promotion, and Tomokai Naba went with them, of course, and he formed Just Tap Out, and it features not only just the Yoshi wrestlers but also the men's as well. So it's a co-ed promotion of sorts. It doesn't have like the bigger standard, but they do have like their own small arena in case anybody asks. And since then, of course, many wrestlers feature like Maika, who's currently in Stardom. She was also one of Taka Michinoku's students, much like Mirai and Tomokai Naba, but that's the whole thing. Now, however, he did have women have their own championships. They have like their singles titles, such as like the Queens of GTO, the GTO Girls Championship, and of course the GTO Tag Team titles as well. So you can say that he seems like he's doing great for himself. But this particular event is all about the Yoshi wrestlers being in the GTO Girls Tournament. Now, I'm not sure exactly if they get a shot of the GTO Championship, but yes, that title I believe is being held by Azusa Inaba, Tomoka Inaba's little sister. But this event happened recently on Valentine's Day at the GTO Arena, which is their own place in Chiba. So yeah, but their bracket is kind of interesting. They do have two how to say one, that start out two first rounds. But however, there was supposed to be another round where there's two more wrestlers, but whoever faces will face. It's kind of like a very unusual one, but that's kind of thing. However, it ended with just five girls being there, and they had to figure this one out by itself. Um, but let's start with that. With the first round, we have a girl named Rina, who's a big, huge girl, taking on Jumbo Ino. Now, I kind of laugh at this because Jumbo, I would have assumed, has got to be a much bigger person, but it wasn't. It was just like a skinny person. But one thing that was interesting is Rena attacked Inoue just out of nowhere before the bell even rung. But you would have assumed in every capacity that Rena would have been the one to win the match due to her size. But no, I was surprised that of course it was um, Jumbo Inoue that picked up the win by applying a submission, and just like that, Rena had no choice but to tap out. And then we move on with um, the next one, Luka Hinano taking on Big Haruka. Basically, it was a pretty good match. I have to say a little bit more better. I feel like the first one was more of a slower paced, but this one did very well. And I wasn't too sure exactly what's it gonna be, but it was of course Big Haruka who put Hinano in a reversal guillotine headlock. Now remember, the headlock is when you're ducked down and you just grab the person by the hand, just squeeze it. Well, the person has them the opposite side, like their stomach is out, up and going up the ceiling. That's what it was. So Big Haruka actually picked up the win on that. So that's how it is. Now the semifinal was kind of interesting. I did mention it was supposed to be two other wrestlers, but there were two other wrestlers, but one could not make it, so they had to switch it up a bit, from my understanding. They had, of course, Jumbo Ino taking on Mizuha. She's another masked wrestler, kind of like Rhythm, but she had like Mickey Mouse ears. I don't know exactly what's the deal, but it was a pretty good match. Not gonna lie. Mizuha, I heard some interesting things about her, but she was able to pick up the win when she applied a sharpshooter, which was alright. But however, the thing is this: I felt because Jimbo No had her match earlier, that I would have assumed that maybe because of her match, that would have put her stamina a little bit lower. But yeah, and then it's the same thing what we had with the finals with Mizuha taking on Big Aruka. I mean, you can tell by Mizuha, she really had looked like she was tired, that she was gonna pass out, that sort of thing. But she pulled through no matter what, and I like that. But however, Big Haruka once again applied that same move that she did with Hinano with, of course, the reverse guillotine headlock, and just like that, it was over with a tap out. And of course, she did a post match promo. Don't know what she said, but it was a pretty good show, not gonna lie. But the only thing that was interesting, for many of you that know this, according to what Cage Match mentioned, there were only 9 people in attendance. I know what you're saying. What? Yep, 9 people. So, I mean, look, there have been. I've been in wrestling shows where there have been lesser, and even independents. Not gonna lie. I mean, but yes, it is what it is. So don't take it too like serious, guys. I mean, people just enjoy a good wrestling show no matter what. But nonetheless, hopefully I get to do another GTO for all of you. Hopefully I get another chance, but we'll see. Only time will tell. But as of right now, we'll end things here with, of course, GTO and move on with our last review, which is Stardom. Okay, Stardom in Fuji. Of course, this is their recent event, a day after Valentine's, so anybody asks. Now, we opened up with 6 woman tag team match. We have members of Mi Vida Loca consisting of Akira Kurigani, Izuki Aoki, and Rina Yamashita. Now remember, recently Suzuki is out due to injury, so she'll be, I don't know when she'll be back. But their opponents are none other than the Cosmic Angels, consistent of Kurara, who is one half of our New Blood Tag Team Champions. She teams up with Saori Anu and Natsupoi. Now, the match itself was pretty good. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Kurigani attempted to defeat Kurara in many aspects, due being her a one half of the New Blood Tag Team Champions. That would have been a game changer for her. But however, Kurara was able to take her out by applying the Tokimiki Spear, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Kurara picked up the win for her team, and that's pretty much it. Now, our next match, we have a 3-way. We have Miyu Amasaki facing Maika and Saki Kashima. Basically, a 3-way. Now, obviously, when it comes to Saki Kashima, she's a bit more. Well, she is the kind of person who likes to do things her way. Kashima will always be Kashima. She doesn't want to fight. She tries to do things differently, try to hide against wrestlers who are stronger than her and all this. But unfortunately, somehow Amasaki took advantage of the fact that Kashima let her guard down and got pinned by her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So basically, Kashima was like, "What? I had this match won." Well, too bad. That was the kind of thing that it was going to happen. Now, our next match, we have another trios match. We have Azuki teaming up with the ladies all the way from CML. We have Tabata and India Sioksu. Basically, they're taking on Ane Kanaya and the other members of the Cosmic Angels, Aya Sakura and Yuna Mizumori. Now, obviously, many of you know this. There was a talk about Ane Kanaya, who been talking about picking a faction that she might join. A part of me would think that she probably would vote for, of course, Cosmic Angels, but only time will tell. We'll see how that will play out. But nonetheless, the match was okay. But not to mention, we do have, of course, Azuki, Tabata, and India Sioksu are the strongest group. But however, it was India who picked up the win on Ane Kanaya when she applied like this one move. I don't know what it is called, but it was very effective to pick up the win. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we had a very interesting team up. Rian teaming up with Maki Ito to take on the ladies from Neo Genesis, consistent of Meisira and Azumi. Now, of course, we all know that recently, what's her name? Maki Ito normally teams up with Kyoko Furuzawa because they're both dressed alike. And I wouldn't be surprised if Maki Ito starts the Ito Respect Army together, and of course, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rian decides to join her because Makito is very different from any other person she would have met, but nonetheless. But unfortunately, that thing didn't go any well because, in fact, well, we did have the moments where Ito cried whenever Azumi did something to make her cry, and everybody's like looking at her. Why'd you make her cry, Azumi? But all know that's only employed by her just to ensure that you know she either does something dumb. But unfortunately, it was Rianne who ended up on the wrong side of the rolling star by May Sita, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have, of course, the former ladies of EXV, Waka Tsukiyama, Xena, and Hanako teaming up once again. Even though they're not part of EXV anymore, they're taking on the ladies from the Stars, consistent of Yuta Him, Momokogo, and Hana. Now, of course, we all know that many of you know this, that B. Priestley is out due to an injury, and Saya Ida decided to take a little break, so we don't know when she'll be back, but hopefully soon enough. But the match went okay, for example. I mean, Waka, Xena, and Hanako, even though they're not in the same, they're no longer EXV anymore, but they can still get the job done regardless. Because in the end, it was once again Hanako with her submission move that she learned from Shinsuke Nakamura that put away Yuri Him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But of course, during the post match, Yuri Him has her sights set on the future belt, but she's not the only one. So is Akira Kurigani. So basically, she wants that championship. Don't know when or where that's gonna happen. So stay tuned for that. Now, our next match, of course, we have Kyoko Furuzawa taking on Starlight Kid. I mean, nonetheless, I have to say, Furuzawa has been very impressive. Not gonna lie, she does have some great capabilities. I'm not sure exactly where she's gonna end up. I wouldn't be surprised if she just forms a faction with, of course, Maki Ito. But it was a pretty good match. But unfortunately, Furuzawa ended up on the wrong side of the Black Tiger leg killer, their very strong submission move, and just like that, she tapped out. But of course, we did see a post-match promo from Starlight Kid to Furuzawa. I don't know exactly what she said, but I'm sure she had some words to say to her about how much she has grown so much. I mean, we have seen her progress. She hasn't picked up the big win yet, but we know she can pull off a win if she has to. But we'll see. Now, main event, we have, of course, Hate, consistent of Fukigen Death, Rina, Raka, Natsuko Tora, and Konami taking on God's Eye, consistent of Rani Agami, Lady C, Hina, Amisuri, and Shuri. Now, keep in mind, this is a preliminary match between, of course, Konami and Hina. Remember, Hina issued the challenge for the white belt. But of course, when it comes to Hate, we know that they have their usual tactics. They like to attack their opponents before the bell rings. Sometimes they'll take them outside the ring to soften them up. They'll use distractions, use weapons, whatever means necessary to win. But however, Konami decided to not use any of that. She decided to play a little dirty with her just by being cocky, thinking she has everything under control, and that's exactly what she did when she applied the triangle lancer on Hina, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then the post-match promo, Konami decided to be a little smug about how much she lost and decided to once again humiliate her by whacking her with the belt, proving her point. But sooner or later, karma will come after Konami one way or another. So we'll see how things will roll up from them. But as of right now, we're done with Stardom. Let's move on with, of course, with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin, as always, with upcoming events. We do have some updates with the GCW events, mostly coming from the collective. As you know, we have the MDK Fight Club taking place on the 17th of April. Four more names have been announced. We have Ciclope, Slade, Cruel, and John Wayne Murdoch. And then, of course, the following day, on the 18th of April, we have Effie's Big Gay Brunch. Four more names have been announced: Mad Dog Connolly, Jordan Blade, Brick Savage, and Alley Catch. So practically, that's what's going to happen. Those have been already announced for the collective events in Las Vegas in April. Now, House of Glory, as you know, they have the upcoming No Turning Back on February 20th. We have Gabby Forza will take on Amira uh, Sahar. I think that's her name. But yes, that's going to happen on the 20th of April. German promotion WXW, as you know, they have their upcoming tournament, the 16 Karat Gold, that will happen later on in March, between the 6th and the 8th of March. They just announced the King of Strange Style, Aries, also known as El Clone, will be making his debut there, and this is very exciting news for everyone. Now, normally I don't talk much about the independent shows unless there's a wrestler that we know who will be participating. Two wrestlers we are now been seeing in and AEW a lot. We had, of course, QT Marshall and Andrade Lido. They'll meet up with each other, of course, on the 31st of March uh, for the 1FW for Rumble in Rome, which is in Georgia, not Rome, Italy, in case anybody asks. So yes, that match is gonna happen. And then finally, we have the Canadian promotion Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling with Global Wars Canada with Ring of Honor, that will happen on the 27th of March. And then, of course, um, we do have the Uprising the 28th. They just announced Gama Singh Jr. will be participating. So that's pretty much it what we have for our upcoming events. Now let's talk about certain developments as well. Now, many of you know this about David Finlay. We know he had his final match in Japan, and he will be participating in another New Japan show here in the States for New Beginning USA. Fightful Select reports that he is officially a free agent. However, he probably will show up will do the the New Jersey event of New Beginning USA. However, they also report that New Japan tried to re-sign him. For whatever reason, he decided not to. We know that he's been exploring his options. Don't forget, guys, his dad is well recognized in WWE, and currently his brother, Uriah Connors, also is there too. So that kind of sets it up there too, as well. Many of you don't follow this Japanese wrestler named Richi Kawakami, who is in fact from the promotion known as GLEAT. He was the original leader of Bulk Orchestra, and then later the uh, anti Glee Monsters. Fightful Select reports that he, of course, signs a new deal with the promotion GLEAT. Don't know exactly what the deal is, but it's great to hear that he's decided to stay. Interesting news. Fightful Selects reports that All Wins promotion in the UK, Pro Wrestling Eve, as you know, they have their big show coming up on March 8th. Wrestle Queendom, it's now completely sold out. Yeah, so basically it's a sellout. Very amazing thing. I don't know if this happened before. I mean, I don't know if I have any um, fans of this promotion as my subscribers. Has this ever happened before? Because I feel it's very amazing to hear that. But yes, now final development here. Many, if anybody who's attending the Las Vegas shows, as you know, not only the collective will be there. There's also a new one, kind of like them, called the Initiative, which features promotions like, of course, West Coast Pro and all that. However, they just made an announcement on their ticket pricing for this one, and this is exactly what it is. Let me pull up my phone so I can read exactly what they announced. So this is what they said. The tickets will go up soon. The Initiative Vegas tickets package are on sale now. Early bird tickets prices now. General admission is like $125. Front row 150. Limited stage seating 175. This will secure you tickets at all five shows at the Initiative. Yeah, so there's five shows taking place, three on one day and two on the other. So yeah, so if you guys are planning to attend it, make sure you get them soon enough. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we have NXT. Don't know exactly what's going to happen, so as you probably can guess, Joe Hendry may have survived against Jackson Drake, but of course, we have one person who's definitely going to go after his belt, and that is Ricky Saint. We'll see how that rolls. I'm not sure yet if there's any other promotions I want to review, but I am considering it, so we'll see which ones I'll be. I mean, there's a whole lot, but like I said, I'm going to put some that will be part of the special episode series, and I'll do that soon. But we'll see how things will roll. But for right now, we'll leave things as it is. Until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. and have a nice day. Bang.